Hi, everybody. My name is Pattie Grimm, and I'm applying for one of the positions within the board. And many of you may know me because I've been around for 3 or 4 years. I volunteered at Infotech the last 3 years. I was on a couple of STEM panels, so I've been around for a while in this organization, and I absolutely love DFW ATW. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm interested in this board position. So I started my career with First Interstate Bank when I graduated from college, and I actually started out as a part-time teller, and by the time I finished my career there, I was a vice president in charge of customer and people excellence. And during that time, I actually started our first ever conferences for women. At the time, they weren't called empowerment conference; they were just motivational conferences that I would put on twice a year for all of our women within the banking industry. And we would all come together on a Saturday. I'd pay overtime, get everybody there. I hired inspiring speakers for a couple of times, and then people said, well, you should be the speaker. So I started speaking at these events. And that's when I really started my quest for empowering women and girls to be the best they can be in any endeavor they choose and to leave the world a better place for all of us as we move forward in this crazy organization and world we live in. After I was at First Interstate Bank, I took a period of time and I ran my own consulting and training company, helping companies transform their cultures to be more inclusive and to be more focused on how do we bring out the best in talent in everybody. I spent 20 years at Microsoft, 15 years as an FTE, 5 years as a consultant contractor, managing many of their large sales and business transformations around the globe. I actually lived in Singapore for 3 years and managed the customer partner experience team across all of Asia, from China to India, Australia, New Zealand, all across the entire region. Probably the best experience of my husband in my life. I spent some time at Johnson & Johnson heading up their business and leadership transformation organization and company. Spent time at VMware, most recently as the Senior Director in charge of Sales Enablement and Sales Excellence, transforming their culture to be more customer focused and to get into the SaaS environment. In all of those times, I probably have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours speaking at conferences, keynotes. At Microsoft, while I was there, I was actually always on the team that headed up our annual worldwide sales conference that was 4 to 5 days long with between 35 and 55,000 people and put on these huge events. In between that, I always was part of the women's group, and I was always leading the conferences and the monthly meetings we had and putting together the programs for those things at Microsoft, at Johnson & Johnson, and VMware. I currently own my own training and consulting company where I specialize in empowering mid-career women to go from burnout to breakthrough and stagnation to success. I've probably been on more than 65, 70 podcasts on empowering women. I wrote my book when I left Microsoft called Quiet Women Never Change History. Be strong, stand up, stand out. Let's go kick some glass. And to write that book, I spent 3 years interviewing over 3,952 people. What makes a great woman leader? And I found these 5 success secrets. So my conference presentations, my keynotes, everything I do is centered around that research and the new research I've done most recently on defining the new women's power code. It's time to change the system, not the woman, is my most current keynote that I've been delivering to different organizations like Sonic Wall. I was the keynote speaker at Cisco's annual huge global women's summit event for International Women's Day 2 years ago. And then this year I did the automotive women and the women in industry. I was keynote for them as well. So I have 2 signature programs in my business. One is Empower Her, which is either a one-on-one or small group of 5 women. That's a 5-part coaching series, usually scheduled over 3 to 6 months, depending on people's schedules, to help give them the skills and tools and talents to manage their career, to own their power, to be the best they can be, and to be that effective, confident, empowered woman leader. I have a comprehensive Leader Her program, which is a series of 6 to 8 modules, depending on what an organization's need, for women organizations and associations to train a group of people and a group of women to be strong and confident and to break that glass ceiling and to kick down that broken career rungs that are up there. My LinkedIn and my website information is advantageconsultingandtraining.com. My email is there, but I also typically for DFW ATW, I'll use my personal email, which is pattiegrimm@live.com. So one of the questions I was asked to answer is, why do I want to be part of this program? I have been doing programs for more than 25, probably close to 30 years for women around empowerment and inspiring them to be the best so they can thrive in this crazy world we live in and overcome all the barriers we face. As we all know, we've actually lost ground, specifically since COVID, when we were the first to be laid off, last to be hired back, and usually hired back at a lower position and lower salary. So we have a lot of barriers to face. We have double bind paradoxes, we have unconscious bias and microaggressions. And I want to empower and help women by providing programs that are impactful, inspiring, inspirational, but are based on solid research and a foundation of what does it really take to succeed, which is part of the 5 ways that I found in my research to be a strong, confident woman leader. So it would be an honor to be part of this board. Recently, I resigned from a board that I was on in Seattle when I lived up there. I resigned from the board because it was just too hard to keep connected when all the events are in Seattle, and I now live in Aubrey, Texas. So I ended up resigning from that board most recently. So I also have board experience, and I put together our annual Be Bold for Change events at that conference, at that board called Be Bold for Change for Women. So I'd be honored to be part of this board. I have the experience, I have the background, I have the passion. My personal mission is to empower women and girls to be the best they can be in any endeavor they choose, and to leave the world a better place for everybody. So thank you, and my name is Pattie Grimm. I live in Aubrey, Texas with my husband and our 3 wonderful, most adorable pugs you'll ever find on this earth. So thank you, and I would look forward to hearing from you.